everyone. I hope you're doing well. It is Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. It's going to take me a minute to remember that we are no longer in the year 7 squared. Sorry, there's a little hair. We are now in the year 8 squared. So it's 2026, January 7th, and I'm here for our anxiety and depression support stream. I do this every Wednesday. This is basically a live Q&A where I open a platform for you to share anything you'd like pertaining to anxiety and depression. And I'm here to answer any questions or concerns, or if you need prayer, or if you are interested in my one-to-one sessions, I would be happy to set that up for you. In fact, my calendar is wide open for 2026, and I'm very excited because this year is going to be a great year for us as it pertains to our inner healing journey. So welcome everyone who's watching live, everyone who is in the chat, and everyone who is watching on the replay. My name is Ruby. I'm a certified therapeutic art life coach, and I am excited about this year. This is going to be a great year for us, a great year of health, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. And some of you were with me last night for Mind Heart Mondays. Tuesday. I said last night because actually I said I might come on Tuesday night, and I didn't for soul strengthening sessions, but I do have a little teaching. So depending on how tonight goes for us, I really just want to kind of give you guys the liberty to just hop on the chat and ask questions, or share anything that you're going through, so we can all partake and share with one another in your burdens. But depending on that, I might introduce this. Started writing this last night for soul strengthening sessions on Tuesdays. As I mentioned on Monday, I have a lot of you that really enjoyed the soul strengthening sessions, which really was kind of my introductory class to the inner healing journey. And I did this for a very long time when I started doing lives on my YouTube channel. And I feel like it's something that I'm going to be bringing back. So if you're interested, Soul Strengthening Sessions is basically a class, a session actually, a live session that I've been doing, or a recorded session where I talk about the inner healing journey. And I have all kinds of teachings, all kinds of topics. A lot of times I would let you guys choose, and then I would build from there. So I might get into that tonight, depending on how tonight goes. Hi, welcome. Good to see you guys. Everyone hopping in the chat, hello. Good to see y'all. Welcome. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Again, my name is Ruby, and this is Anxiety and Depression Live Support. So I'm here to listen. I'm here to listen. I'm here to share. I'm here to partake of whatever it is that you guys want to get into tonight. So please feel free to hop in the chat or ask your questions on the comments in the replay. But yeah, so I did write a little teaching for soul strengthening sessions, which I was kind of debating. Do I want to just kind of go into this tonight for us? Or do I want to wait a whole week? And I don't know if I can wait a whole week, because I think this is something, this topic, and it's probably going to be a series, to be honest, but this is a very pertinent topic for these days and these times. So y'all let me know. Those of you that are here with me live, let me know if you want me to go into this teaching tonight, which I would normally do on a Tuesday, or do we want to just stick to anxiety and depression and get into that, because that is definitely something that we all struggle with on some level. By the way, I am here. If you're new, I am here to walk with you, walk alongside you through anxiety and depression. I do this in my one-to-one sessions. Obviously, I have a live stream for this. And I also have a class. If you're just interested in learning about it, I do these classes on Wednesdays as well. We can do it as a group or we can do it as a private class. And those are only $7 a session. So if you're interested, let me know. But if you are in a space where you're actually really wanting to get into the depths of your own soul and recovery, this is what I do. This is my work. So I'd love to work with you. You can reach out to me at shesrestored@gmail.com, or you can just leave a little comment here and leave me your email and I can reach out to you. But I do these one-to-one sessions, and it'll be really good because it's the new year and it's a good time to get started on this. Hi, everybody. Alyssa, good to see you. Thank you very much. And so are you. And Kai. Hello, Kai. Welcome. And welcome everyone who's hopping on the chat. Say hello. Introduce yourself. Let me know how you're doing with anxiety and depression. I'd love to know. This is why I'm doing this, and this is why I do this on Wednesdays, because a lot of us don't have anybody to talk to. And I'm here for support. I myself am in my own recovery. I've been dealing with anxiety for a long time. And by the grace of God, I'm on the other side of a lot of it. I'm on the other side of depression. Praise God. And I teach on this. This is what I teach on because I feel like it's something that we wrestle with. It's something that is very present in our lives. And so I want you guys to have a good grasp on this for yourself so that you can learn how to manage it for yourself. Hi, Preston. Welcome. So yeah, let's get into this. If anybody doesn't have an opinion on this, then I'm just going to go ahead and get into it a little bit and then just see how it goes. If I feel like I'm going to start teaching this other thing, I will. Otherwise, I'll save it for y'all for next week. And no worries. Hi, Kenny. Welcome. Okay, so anxiety and depression is something that we wrestle with every day, believe it or not, even if you don't realize it, or maybe you've never been diagnosed, or it's not something you think about. It is something that we wrestle with every day. Oh, is this better? Is this better? Let me know. I don't know if it's my volume, but yeah, it could be that. All right. Is this better? Actually, this is not going to make a difference, but is this better if I'm talking closer to the mic? I can do that. Sorry about that. So yeah, it's important for us to understand this for ourselves so that we can learn how to manage. Some of us are clinically diagnosed with anxiety and depression and we take medication, or some of us don't take medication and we choose the holistic path to manage, whether it's through therapies, any kind of therapies, mental, emotional, behavioral, whatever you choose, or you do nutritional holistic health therapy. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you, Malik? Good to see you. So yeah, this is important to know for ourselves. They are connected, yes. And typically when we're diagnosed, they diagnose them together. But I teach from a little bit of a different perspective, where I teach you that depression is actually the depths of this wrestle with anxiety. The height of this wrestle is anger. So I teach you that there are different stages and states of sadness and anger, depending on how deep we are in the trenches when it comes to our own woundedness, our own brokenness, whether it's we're on the journey of recovery or we haven't even begun our journey of recovery. But anxiety will either throw us up in anger or pull us down into depression. So where are you? Do you know this about yourself? Do you know when you get anxious, do you tend to project outward, or do you tend to internalize? So this is kind of where I start when I help someone who's going through this to self-assess. Or you could be someone that vacillates between the two. Let me see. Oh, I have a Q&A sticker. I'm sorry you're having a bad day. Well, that's why we're here. If you want to share a little bit, I would be happy to walk with you through this. Tell us a little bit about what's going on. If you want to. If you want to share that publicly. If not, you're welcome to email me, shesrestored@gmail.com. Okay. That's good. 49 subscribers is pretty good, actually. What's your channel? What do you share on your channel? Let's see. By the way, I'm letting the mic go, so let me know if you can still hear me. I'll just talk a little bit louder. You share on hockey? That's good. Video game stuff. Well, that's good. Did something go wrong today on your channel? Is that what you're struggling with? By the way, I do encourage, everybody's different. Everybody has their hopes and goals with their channels on YouTube. I personally enjoy and welcome organic growth. This is something that is this is just how I am, whether it's here on YouTube or on Instagram. Because I personally feel like in the seasons, God brings people to you that need what you have, or you need what they have. So they come into alignment. So that's an encouragement there. Anybody who has a YouTube channel, for that matter, or you're seeking to kind of expand on whatever it is you're doing on your socials, just trust the process. There's always seasons. There's seasons of winter, and then there's seasons of summer and spring. So just take that in stride. So going back to the depression, and I'm waiting to hear back from you, so take your time on sharing. But yeah, so where are you in this anxiety and depression wrestle? It's important to know this. And when we work one-to-one, those of you that would be interested in doing the one-to-one sessions, there are always roots to your anxiety. A lot of times we don't even know, especially if it's something that you've been wrestling for years or decades. It might be the smallest habit. You don't even realize it's actually you're doing this out of anxiety. And then there's, of course, stages of that where perhaps it's progressed and you don't realize. But there are roots to our battle with anxiety. And when we get to those roots is when we begin to heal and recover. And then we can actually start to manage our anxiety or depression or emotional toxicities that we all have, by the way. So yeah, it's very important to know that. So oh, Malik, sorry, no, I don't give out my phone number. So if you want to share more, H, let me know. I'm here. I'm listening. I think I'm going to get into this teaching, actually, because it keeps beckoning me. And I did tell a lot of you on Monday that I was considering coming on here on Tuesday for the soul strengthening session. So I think since no one really has any specific questions tonight on anxiety, I'm going to get into this teaching. I want to share. So I'm titling this Maintaining Your Peace. And actually it is connected. It's actually very connected to anxiety. It's just sort of a different specific struggle. Now, the one I'm going to share on tonight is a big one. It's actually, I feel like this is relevant to the times that we're in, especially. But this is probably going to be a series to get back into the soul strengthening sessions that a lot of you have requested. And this will be on Tuesday nights typically. I will share this on Tuesdays, but I figured I'd just kind of mesh it all together. Maintaining your peace is what the series is going to be called. And tonight, by the way, if you have any questions, just hop on the chat and ask, or ask in the comments. The title that I'm sharing tonight is Maintaining Your Peace in the Presence of Manipulators and Malevolence. Okay, so this is, for a lot of you, this is going to hit some nerves, okay? Because some of you are in recovery from dealing with, I'm going to say it very kindly and carefully, but dealing with energies that are very toxic. And I separated the two because there is a difference. Energies that are very toxic and energies that are evil. Okay, now I've been sharing this forever, but the longer we're here, the more dark and evil the times will become. Thus, the more we will see this and these spirits manifesting in people. Okay, so it is very important to understand this because, and trust me, I've had my fair share, and even recently, of being shocked and taken aback that a human being can even act so crazy, but there's a reason behind all of this. Okay, but my hope is for us to remember to maintain our peace. Okay, there's a scripture that says, as far as it depends on you, live peaceably with everyone. Okay, I can't control if other people are at peace or how they act or how they respond, but I can have the self-control to learn how to keep my peace in spite of the chaos that comes at me. So that's what I'm hoping with this series, is that we can learn to maintain my peace, maintain your peace. Okay, so before we get into this, we have to define what peace is. Because if I don't know peace, I cannot have it. And if I don't have it, I cannot live and exist in it, and I certainly can't give it to others. So, what is peace? Now, the peace that I'm talking about is not a lack of chaos. It's not a place that's quiet. It's not a company that is soothing and relaxing. The peace I'm talking about is the peace that surpasses understanding. It's the peace that is the Spirit of God, that can only come from the Spirit of God. Therefore, I can only access this peace through the spirit realm. Okay, so I must have the spirit of peace first. And how do I have this peace? Well, I must know the Prince of Peace to receive his spirit pouring into my spirit. Okay, so as you guys know, or a lot of you do, I teach on spirit, soul, and body. If my spirit is aligned to peace, then I can have peace in my mind, I can have peace in my heart, and I certainly can have peace in my body and peace with others. Okay, so number one, in order for me to know and understand peace, I must have the spirit of peace. Okay, if you are disconnected from God, or you're far from God, or you don't even think of God, you will not know peace. it comes directly from Him. So I must get to a place within myself where I feel and I know that I need peace. And that's your step one, really, for anything, for recovery, for the inner healing journey, for figuring out what you're doing with your life. I must have that peace spiritually. Okay? So that's number one. I must have peace. Number two, I must have the spirit of peace. Number two, I must face and conquer my own chaos. And this is where I come in. This is what I help you with. I help you find those roots in your soul or your spirit that are causing you pain. They're causing you chaos and conflict and craziness. Again, a lot of times we don't know why I feel anxious all the time, or I feel like I'm in unrest. More often than not, it is because you are unhealed, or you have yet to discover those roots that need to be uprooted from your soul realm so that you can begin to heal and recover. If I don't face my own mess, my own chaos, my own brokenness, or in some cases, my own demons, I will never be at peace. You can have all the money in the world, you can have everything go your way, you can have your dream job, your dream house, your dream car. If you don't have peace, you will not find contentment or happiness or joy in anything in life. It starts with the spirit. So, my encouragement to you is if you are here, salud. If you are here, then your first step is to find spiritual rest so that your soul has an anchor to begin to recover and heal. So I must face and conquer my own chaos to stay in peace. So once I have the spirit of peace, then I have the source of peace and the anchor of peace so that my soul can begin to rest in peace. I don't mean that literally, but I do mean that literally. Y'all get me. So this is what I call step 1 and step 2 in my 3 to 5 step signature process to releasing pain from the soul realm, is to face and conquer. I must acknowledge my chaos. I must acknowledge I'm in unrest or I'm in pain, whatever it is, so that I can begin to conquer what is keeping me there. Okay? So number 3, and this is what I'm just talking about now, I must be on the inner healing journey to have a good grasp on my triggers, my trauma, my wounds, and my roots, because only then can I recognize my vulnerabilities and where I'm susceptible to the attacks from the outside. This is the biggest key here, is if I don't know what sets me off, what triggers me, what agitates me, what disturbs me, what scares me, then I will be at the mercy of everybody around me. And I won't know how to protect my peace, to protect my myself. So I need to know what's wrong with me, quote unquote, what's wrong with me, what's hurting me, what's unhealed, unrested, so that I can handle outside. So if you're dealing with people in your life, and again, I'm gonna break this down, but if you're dealing with people in your life that are hurting you, that are triggering you, and you feel like every time I'm around them, I just fall apart, I just can't handle it, it's most likely because you don't know where it's coming from. Okay, so I have to be on this inner healing journey so that I can have victory. And again, one-to-one sessions, if you're interested, please reach out to me. I'd love to help you. So again, spiritual I must be anchored to God's peace. That's number one. For my mind and my heart and my will, which is my soul realm, I must release my own pain in exchange for his peace. And then physically, I must learn boundaries. And we're all on this journey. I'm on this journey. There's a lot I'm on the other side of by the grace of God. And then there's a lot that I'm still, learning to overcome. So take heart wherever you are on the journey. As long as you're on the journey, you're already victorious because you are learning and you're growing and you're healing and you're recovering. And that's what we want. Okay, so any questions, by the way? I haven't seen the chat for a while, but if you have any questions or you want to share anything, please do. And I'm wondering if I'm even going to get through all of this, you guys. Sorry, we're already like 30 minutes in. But again, this is going to be a series. So let's start with manipulators. I've left this very by the way, I've left this very general and generic, but there's a lot that we can get into. But I separated this between manipulation and malevolence because there is a difference between individuals who by default are manipulative. Okay, and then there are other individuals who are driven by evil to hurt you. Okay, so I'm going to break this down, and hopefully this will give you a little bit of an arsenal to help kind of distinguish in your own life those who are coming against you, where they're coming from. I hope. That's my hope with this teaching. Because we all have them in our life. We all have people who come against us. And we must learn how to keep our peace in the midst of it. Okay? So, manipulators. These are people who prey on your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities, for the sake of gaining control. Hi, welcome. Good to see you guys. To suit their own agenda or their selfish ambitions. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Manipulators are individuals who prey on the weaknesses, vulnerabilities, and the list goes on, of others to gain control to suit their own agenda or their own selfish ambitions. Okay, this is the most general I can put this. And I have to distinguish this because it is fair and it is very important. Sometimes these are calculated attacks from people. That is to say that they're aware, that they know that they're manipulating you. And other times, they're unaware that they're doing this because they're not that in tune with themselves. Okay? And of course, there's different levels of this type of narcissistic tendency, and these individuals, there's different levels. Again, some of it is because these individuals are unhealed and they're not even aware that they're like this. This is just how their natural default is. And other times they are very deep in the trenches of knowing this about themselves, and they have pride doing this. These individuals are at best, like I'm saying, they're wounded individuals operating in their unhealed trauma that manifests as an outcry for a sense of regaining control of their own lives. This is very important to recognize. And by the way, I'm sharing this with a heart that weeps for you if you have been a victim of this, because a lot of you have gone through hell with narcissistic people. And I don't take that lightly. I understand firsthand, and especially in the proximity of the relationships that you might have, this can be a very sore subject, and a very painful subject to discuss. So I share this with a heart of empathy for you if you are here and you're in this and you're struggling. And I'm also here to tell you that you can get through this and that you're not alone. So I wanted to say that first and foremost. These individuals operating from their trauma, they don't, because they didn't learn how to self-regulate. Now again, we all have these issues, right? But these specific individuals, perhaps when they were younger, they didn't have a place where they could be emotionally vulnerable. So they learned kind of how to pull back their feelings. They learned that it's not safe for me to share how I feel. But at the same time, because we're all human and it is a natural instinct to preserve self, and again, this is very general because this can get very deep and this can get very specific depending on all sorts of things. But typically, they will tend to control people or their environment to feel the safety and security that they needed as a child. So this is a childhood wound and trauma that is unhealed. This is why they need to control people, control others, control narratives, control how others see them, how others think about them. And when it gets kind of deep into this, they triangulate relationships. They turn people against each other so that they can feel better or good about themselves. So they project their insecurities with insults, judgment, arrogance at best. At worst, they will defer to threats and violence to get their way. And they will not relent, as I said, even taking others for the ride of their justifiable actions against other people. It can get very dark. But this is the nicer side of these individuals that operate in manipulation, okay? The darker side of this are individuals that operate in malevolence, okay? And this is a diabolical level of warfare with people because it involves individuals. By the way, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask as I'm teaching. Please feel free. Because it involves individuals that are truly indwelt with, at best, foul spirits and at worst, evil spirits. These are worse off than the previous group because they truly are possessed with diabolical spirits. Yes, you guys, we have a spirit and we have a soul. And if our spirit is disconnected from the source of life, from God himself, we are susceptible to be indwelt with other spirits. This is very scary, but this is very true. So yes, there are people walking around who have foul or evil spirits that operate within them, and this is why they behave the way they do. This is why they act the way they do. These diabolical spirits actually control, just as it's like your spirit leads and guides you. It's only going to lead and guide you as well as it is, or as strong as it is. So if you are connected to a dark spirit, you're going to be driven by that darkness. If you're connected to the light, you will be driven by the light. So this is very important to understand. So these spirits control mental, emotional, and physical states. These are souls that have been tantalized and captivated by bewitching entities to suit their agenda. So in other words, these individuals that are actually operating in the evil dark side, they're not even aware that they're saying and doing what they're saying and doing, because they are being led by those dark spirits, if that makes sense. So these individuals need deliverance that are under this umbrella of witchery. Shall I just say it? They need deliverance. They need spiritual deliverance to be healed from even from themselves. Okay? So, and they must be met with serious spiritual armor and warfare. So if you have these individuals in your life or vicinity, you must disengage. Okay, this is why it's important. This is why I'm sharing this, because it's important to understand and discern, and you can only do this spiritually. When you're dealing with these individuals, am I dealing with someone who is simply wounded? They are just broken and lost, and they're sort of reacting out of that pain? Or am I dealing with someone who is really in darkness and are seriously coming at me with evil? Because discerning that is going to help you understand how to combat the attack. This is why I'm sharing the difference between the two. So any questions on this? Please feel free to ask in the comments if you're watching this on the replay. Maintaining your peace. In the presence of these individuals. But maintaining your peace is something that we must all learn to do in spite of anybody or anything around us, because we are always being in the line. We're always in the line of fire from the spirit realm. So even if I don't have people specifically coming against me, I must learn how to maintain my peace in the midst of the chaos out here. And the chaos that I'm continuing to sort through and heal from. So yeah, so that's my little teaching for tonight. I'm actually cutting it a little bit shorter because I know we're already at 40 minutes. You have any questions, feel free to message me, shesrestored@gmail.com. If you have any requests or prayer requests, please feel free to reach out to me as well. I will be back here Friday for sure. I don't know if I'm doing anything tomorrow. I think I'm not, actually. But I'll be back Friday for our last day's live stream. And if y'all need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. shesrestored@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram at shesrestored. And my one-to-one sessions are back. I'm very excited to be back and doing this. I took a little bit of a break due to my recovery, which I'm still in recovery, but the Lord gave me a date and he said, go. So here we are. Yes, those of you that were with me last year or even before that, my $25 sessions are null and void. Unless, of course, you booked with me before the end of 2025 at all. You still have that price. Just so you know, even if we took a little break and you want to come back, you still have the $25 discount. But I did bring my prices up to $57 a session, which is still reasonable. But those of you that are here in the She's Restored family, you're subscribed, you're a part of the family, or you're following me over at She's Restored on Instagram or Sonia Leave It Sound, you will get a discount. So when you sign up for my sessions, make sure you request the discount She's Restored or Sonia Leave It Sound, and I will honor that for you. So hope y'all are doing well. Love y'all so much. I'll be back Friday for last day's live stream. And if you need anything before then, reach out. Okay? Thank you guys for all the support. I appreciate it. And welcome to the family, those of you that are new and subscribed. Lots of goodies this year, and I'm so happy you're here. Talk to you soon. Bye.